What is up, YT? This is GVM-uk, and today we're going to look at the Terran Prowler and some tips on how to survive longer in battle. And what effectively we have here is the best siege unit in the game. The Prowler is fast, it packs one hell of a punch. It's not as maneuverable as the Vanu, obviously, but not as powerful as the Vanguard. But it's fast, packs one hell of a punch, and once you've certed into siege mode, well, it just brings a whole new level of gameplay to the tank. So we're going to get right into GVM-uk's top 5 tips on Prowler gameplay. The Prowler really does surpass itself at range. Once you've certed into anchor mode and a few certs into the anchor mode, which gives you bullet velocity bonus and reload speed, you can just decimate the field at range. Zoom optics are highly recommended. The full zoom optics unlock, and ammo, always with the ammo. It prolongs your ability to stay on the field, and you can just decimate an entire base from long range. The worst thing you could do when tank playing is have tunnel vision. Basically, just staring down the sights, not aware of your surroundings whatsoever. And as we can see by this example, my tunnel vision here, and look, a Vanguard sneaks up on me, right on top of me. How the hell did I miss him? Luckily, I got him in time. But if I didn't notice him, he would have been right up my ass, shooting, huge fucking Sabo rounds up my asshole and killing me. Try and use open ground as much as you can. Being surrounded by hills, cover and stuff just gives infantry ample opportunity to jump on top of you. I've just caught a guy there trying to C4 me, which is, proliferant in the game at the moment. Light assault with C4 equals death. And another guy right here planting fucking tank mines right behind me. Can't see where he is because there's so much cover where he can hide. Don't know where the hell he is, where the hell that hit come from. But he's stupid enough, obviously, to run out in front of my tank where he could have taken cover anywhere. But yes, utilize open ground whenever you can. The tank has the range. You don't need to be in a claustrophobic area. Never ever shoot women at the warp gate. It looks bad on you, it looks bad on the Terran Republic. Just don't do it. It's wrong. Driving right up to the middle of a base that's occupied by enemies is the worst thing you could possibly do in this tank. When you go into siege mode, you are unable to move, you can get flanked by everyone, you have rockets coming in you left, right and centre, tanks flanking you to the right, to the left. Just know when to call it a day, know when to go, reverse, turn back, get repairs, get ammo, and, just learn when to say, right, I'm going to die here, it's obvious. And as you can see here, I'm getting locked. I know infantry's coming up on me. I'm going to reverse, turn around, and live another day, basically. The worst thing you could do with a tank is drive right into the middle of a base and expect to live, because it just ain't going to happen 80% of the time. You're going to get C4'd, you're going to get stupid overpowered AV turrets that have, stupid range right up your ass. Just don't do it. Now onto the cert section. Now I always stick with the default cannons because they are the best of both worlds. Unless you absolutely necessarily want to be anti-vehicle or anti-infantry, just stick with the main cannons. They are fucking excellent, and as the default weapons, far superior than the other two. For diversity. Now I always would say cert into ammo first, then zoom optics. Basically, if you cert into your ammo, it just prolongs your time on the battlefield. Less time rearming, more time killing. Zoom optics, when you start your siege mode, is absolutely necessary. I mean, I'd full cert into them straight away. And obviously the reload speed. What else we got? Utility, anchor mode. Gives you bonus to projectile velocity and reload speed. One of the main reasons why the Terran Republic tank is so bloody powerful is this anchor mode. It doesn't cost much to get into anchor mode whatsoever, and it gives you one hell of a decent bonus compared to the other tanks. But obviously you can't move, you're immobile. Just always remember that, because most of the time you can forget that you can't move when someone's right on top of you. So be aware of your surroundings. And the performance slot, let's have a look. I go for the racer high-speed chassis. The tank's fast anyway. We need to improve that. We don't really need maneuverability. We're going into siege mode. We're firing from a distance. We just want to get in there fast and get out there fast. And the racer high-speed chassis does that excellently. And of course, we finish off with the acquisition timer. Now, I usually just put, whenever I got spare certs, into the acquisition timer. It just shortens the time between getting the tank next when you die. Basically, you shouldn't need that too much if you keep your tank alive and play sensibly. You shouldn't need to put too many certs into that. As your secondary weapon, I would suggest the halberd, whatever you want to call it. Always put the maximum ammo in for when your teammate jumps in. They have ample ammo, and you're not constantly reloading just for them when you've got full ammo capacity. And zoom optics as well. Zoom optics just own the battlefield for the Terran Republic Prowler. So after certing our Prowler into a complete siege monster, what do we have as a main battle tank? Well, we have a bonus to reload speed and projectile speed, which is absolutely great for taking out air. Your rounds are going to hit a lot faster. You don't have to track ahead of aircraft as far because the projectiles are faster. And we have a long range killer, basically. The only downside is we can't move. It takes about a second and a half or something like that to come out of siege mode and get ready to move, and that can mean all the difference sometimes, especially when you find that you've got enemies on top of you. But I'm hitting guys freaking miles away here. That Sundra took a few hits from me. He's on the run. Basically, I think the Prowler is the most powerful tank in the game. Yes, the Vanu has the strafe, it has the ability to go off-road very easily, but the Prowler can put so many rounds down range, especially against infantry. You can just go into siege mode and completely decimate entire squads. Not much can survive when you have a Prowler in siege mode at range on you. Your best option is just to run, because you're not going to outshoot it because of the reload speed. You're not going to see it very well because it's going to be at range, and that's the best use of the Prowler. Basically, find a nice spot. Stupid planes getting in the way. Find a nice spot at range, sit there and just farm kills left, right and centre. Your biggest worry is infantry coming up behind you and aircraft. The aircraft is probably your biggest threat, and that is the case for most tanks, but more so with the Prowler, because obviously you're in siege mode, you're far away from the actual battlefield, you can be singled out quite easy. But for the pros versus the cons, you're going to get a hell of a lot of kills with this thing, with this setup. Full ammo, full zoom optics, anchor mode set to full. You're just going to decimate the field at range, and that's just what the Prowler just excels at. Look at that, I'm hitting that lightning, and he probably can't even see me. He's probably wondering where the hell these rounds are coming from, basically. So yeah, definitely cert into ammo, cert into zoom optics, and then anchor mode, and then obviously your acquisition timer. So this has been GVM-UK's short little hints on the Prowler and how to play it. It helps me survive a hell of a lot. I can keep a tank alive for hours just farming kills. A lot of people have trouble, they spawn a tank and they last 5 minutes in it. This, to stay at range, know when to leave the battlefield when you're going to be overrun. Basically, it's all about being smart. Know when to retreat, know when to start attacking. Make sure you're never alone, or at least vulnerable. Open ground is your best friend, basically. You can see what's coming along, or miles away. If a tank comes over the ridge miles away, you can just lay rounds into him. But if you're stuck in between two rocks, infantry come up behind you and you'll get C4'd, which happens a hell of a lot in this game. People just love C4 in tanks. So anyway, I hope this helped a little bit. I'm not saying I'm a pro, but it's helped me keep my tank alive and get shitloads of kills. So anyway, this is GVM-uk signing out. I'll catch you later.